Welcome. This is the AI onboarding course from chatbot user to agent builder. 7 episodes, about 1 hour. By the end, you will understand AI at a level most experienced engineers never reach. Not theory, practical, real. Let us start. Let me be honest with you. Most engineers use AI like a smarter Google. Open a tab, ask a question, close the tab. That is not using AI. That is AI assisted procrastination. Rewriting emails with ChatGPT, asking it to fix one bug at a time, that is the surface. We are going much deeper than that. Here is what this course fixes. If you are a beginner, never built with AI APIs, we start from zero, no assumptions. You will make your first API call by episode 2. If you use ChatGPT daily, but not in your code, we fix that in the intermediate track. And if you already ship with AI, we get you into multi-agent systems and production patterns. Every level is covered. Here is the full course map. 7 episodes. Episode 1, what is AI? Episode 2, LLMs, the engine under everything. Episode 3, tokens, context, and memory. Episode 4, the jump from chatbot to agent. Episode 5, MCP, how agents talk to real tools. Episode 6, building your first agent with real code. Episode 7, multi-agent systems and what it means to operate at 0.01%. Let us go. Episode 1, what is AI? Not the Terminator, not magic, not a robot that will take your job tomorrow. The real definition, simple, practical, and one you can actually use. Everything starts here. The one-line answer. AI is a system trained on human data that predicts the next most useful output. That is it. No magic. It does not think. It finds patterns in billions of examples and applies them. When you type a message to ChatGPT, it is not understanding you. It is predicting word by word what the most useful response looks like based on everything it has seen. Pattern machine, nothing more, nothing less. There are 3 types of AI you need to know. Narrow AI does one thing extremely well. ChatGPT writes text. Midjourney makes images. Copilot writes code. It cannot do anything outside its training. General AI, human level intelligence across any task, does not exist yet. Superintelligence beyond human in every dimension also does not exist. Everything you are using today, GPT, Claude, Gemini, is narrow AI, and narrow AI used right is incredibly powerful. The best analogy for AI is electricity. Electricity alone is not useful. A motor running on electricity is. AI alone is not the product. Agents running on AI are. Most people are staring at the power socket asking ChatGPT questions. You are going to build a motor. That is what the rest of this course is about. See you in episode 2. Episode 2, LLMs. You have been using the chat UI. That is the front door. Engineers go through the API, the back door where the real power is. In this episode, we open up the engine and see exactly how it works. What is an LLM? Large language model. It is a neural network trained on billions of documents, web pages, books, code, research papers. Its one job, given everything that came before, predict what should come next. That is the whole trick. Word by word, token by token, it builds a response. At scale, with enough data, this simple prediction becomes something that looks like reasoning. Stop using the chat box. Engineers do not use LLMs through a web UI. They call them through an API programmatically at scale inside their products. Look at this code, 3 lines. You import OpenAI, create a client, send a message, get a response. That is it. Once you move from the chat box to the API, everything changes. You can build products, automate workflows, and run thousands of requests without touching a browser. Episode 3, Tokens, Context, and Memory. This is the most misunderstood part of all AI engineering. Most engineers waste money and get bad results because they do not understand these 3 things. Let us fix that right now. What is a token? A token is roughly 3/4 of a word. LLMs do not see letters. They do not see words. They see tokens. Hello is one token. Hello world is two tokens. Why does this matter? Three reasons. Cost, you pay per token, so more tokens means more money. Speed, more tokens means slower response. And limits, every model has a maximum number of tokens it can handle at once. Tokens are the currency of AI. Track them. The context window is the model's working memory. Everything it can see at once. GPT 3.5 had 4,000 tokens. GPT 4o has 128,000. Claude has up to 200,000. 128,000 tokens is roughly a 300-page book. But here is the key point. The model can only see what is inside this window. Anything outside it is gone, forgotten. This is why managing your context carefully is one of the most important skills in AI engineering. LLMs have zero memory by default. Here is the trap every beginner falls into. You tell the AI your name. It says nice to meet you. Next API call, it has no idea who you are. Every call starts fresh. There are three ways to fix this. One, stuff the prompt, include past messages every call. Two, use a database, store and retrieve relevant history. Three, use embeddings and vector search to find what the agent needs to remember. Real agents combine all three. What does it actually cost? This is the question everyone is afraid to ask. LLM pricing is simpler than it looks. You pay per million tokens separately for what you send in and what the model sends back. Output always costs more than input. Let me break down the real numbers so you have no surprises. Here is the real pricing. GPT-4 $2.50 per million input tokens, $10 per million output. GPT-4 Mini 15 cents input, 60 cents output. Much cheaper for simple tasks. Claude Opus $15 input, $75 output. Best quality, highest cost. Claude Haiku 25 cents input, $1.25 output. Fast and cheap. For most production use cases, Mini and Haiku are the right choice. Save the expensive models for tasks that actually need them. Let me give you real cost examples so this becomes concrete. One typical conversation with GPT-4o Mini, about 2000 tokens, costs less than half a cent. Summarizing a 50-page PDF with Claude Haiku costs about 10 cents. Running 1,000 customer support responses per day costs roughly $2 to $3. AI is not expensive if you pick the right model for the right task, and if you are just getting started, Google AI Studio and Anthropic both offer free tiers, zero cost to begin. Hallucinations, the number one risk in production AI. A hallucination is when an LLM confidently states something completely false. Not a bug, not laziness, it is a fundamental property of how they work. Remember, LLMs predict likely next tokens, not verified facts. Sometimes the most likely next word is wrong. How do you handle this? Use RAI. Always retrieve fresh facts before generating. Add temperature controls to reduce randomness on factual tasks. And never trust LLM output on legal, medical, or financial facts without verifying. Know the risk, build around it. Prompt engineering. Writing instructions that actually get you what you want. Garbage in, garbage out. Precision in, precision out. Look at the difference. Weak prompt, write me an email about the project update. Strong prompt, you are a senior product manager writing to executives. The project is 2 weeks behind due to API delays. Keep it under 150 words, be direct, suggest the path forward, same AI, completely different output. The quality of your prompt is the quality of your result. Invest time here. Episode 4. From Chatbot to Agent. This is the one mindset shift that changes everything. Most people stop at the chatbot. Question, answer, done. Agents are a completely different category. Let me show you why. Chatbot versus agent. Here is the clearest way to see the difference. A chatbot tells you your flight is delayed by 2 hours. That is it. You do the rest. An agent tells you the flight is delayed and then it rebooks the connecting flight, emails your client, and updates your calendar, all automatically. Same starting information, completely different outcome. A chatbot answers, an agent acts. That distinction is everything. Every agent has four parts. First, an LLM brain. This is GPT-4 or Claude Gemini. It thinks, reads the situation, and decides the next action. Second, tools, a browser, a calculator, a code runner, a database query. Tools are how the agent interacts with the real world. Third, memory, short-term conversation history plus long-term storage in a vector database. Fourth, a loop. The agent does not stop after one action. It keeps going until the job is done. LLM brain, tools, memory, loop. That is every agent ever built. How agents actually think. The React loop. Reasons, act, observe, repeat. Real example. You say, book me a flight to New York under $400. The agent reasons, I need to find flights first. It acts, calls a search API. It observes the results. Then it reasons again. Three options. Cheapest is 380. Should I book? It acts, books the flight, observes confirmation received. Done. This loop, reasons, act, observe, repeat, is the core pattern of every AI agent. Understand this, and you understand how all of them work. Episode 5, MCP, Model Context Protocol. Think of it as USB-C for AI agents. Before USB-C, every device had a different charger, a mess. Before MCP, every AI app built its own custom connectors to every tool, also a mess. MCP is the one standard that fixes this. Let me show you how. Here is the problem MCP solves. Before MCP, every AI app built its own custom connector to every tool. OpenAI plugins were not compatible with Anthropic tools. LangChain tools did not work with other frameworks. Everything was duplicated, fragile, rebuilt constantly. After MCP, one open standard. Any agent plus any tool equals plug and play. Anthropic open sourced it. Now OpenAI, Google, and every major platform supports it. This is the moment AI tooling standardized. How MCP actually works. Your AI agent sits in the middle. On one side, the MCP protocol. On the other side, MCP servers. An MCP server exposes three things: resources, data the agent can read, files, databases, API responses, tools, actions the agent can take, run a query, send a message, write a file, prompts, reusable instruction templates. The agent calls the MCP server executes the action, returns the result. Your agent just got access to any tool in the world through one standard interface. MCP servers you can use today, right now. Server Fileslite, read and write local files. Server GitHub, interact with repos, pull requests, issues. Server Pokes, query your database directly. Server Slack, send messages, read channels. Server Google Maps, location, directions, play search. Server Puppeteer, control a real browser, script anything. All of these are open source, all follow the same MCP standard. You plug them into Cloud Desktop, Cursor, or your own agent in minutes. Episode 6. We are building something, real Python code, about 60 lines, runs today, no complex framework, no cloud setup, just an API key and a terminal. By the end of this episode, you will have a working AI agent. Let us go. Here is what we are building. A research agent. You give it a topic. It searches the web for recent information. It reads the relevant pages. It synthesizes everything into a structured report, and it saves that report to a file automatically. The stack GPT-4 O as the brain, DuckDuckGo for search, Bastako to read pages, and the file system to save results. All open source, all free to start. This is a real production pattern. The agent loop. This is the core pattern. You define your tools, search the web, read a URL, save a file. You start the conversation with the system prompt and the user's request. Then you enter a while true loop. The LLM decides what to do next. If it calls a tool, you execute the tool and feed the result back. If it is done, you break the loop and return the final answer. That is the entire agent pattern. Reason, act, observe, loop. Every agent framework, LangChain, Crew AI, AutoGen is just this loop with extra features on top. Which framework should you use? Here is the honest breakdown. Raw OpenAI API. Use this when you want to understand exactly what is happening. Best for learning, zero magic. LangChain, pre-built tools, chains, integrations. Use when you need to move fast and have standard use cases. Llama Index, heavy document and RAG use cases. Best for building on top of your own data. Crow AI, multi-agent systems where you need specialized agents working together. AutoGen, research-grade multi-agent, very flexible, higher learning curve. Start with Raw API. Once you understand the fundamentals, pick the framework that fits your use case. Episode 7, the final one, multi-agent systems and what it actually means to operate at 0.01%. This is where most engineers stop. They get one agent working and call it done. Do not stop here. This is where it gets really powerful. Why one agent is not enough. One agent doing everything is like one employee doing every job at a company, works for simple tasks, falls apart at scale. The solution, specialized agents working together. An orchestrator agent at the top. It assigns tasks, monitors progress, synthesizes results. The manager, a research agent, searches the web, reads sources, extracts information. A writing agent takes research, produces structured output. A review agent checks quality, flags issues. Each agent is focused, each is fast. Together, they are powerful. What does 0.01% actually mean? It is not about knowing the most. It is about thinking in systems, not tasks. The average user asks ChatGPT to write an email. The 0.01% builds an agent that handles their entire email workflow automatically. The average engineer copies Copilot suggestions one at a time. The 0.01% uses agents to refactor entire code bases overnight. The difference is not intelligence, it is leverage. You stop doing tasks, you build systems that do tasks for you. That is the mindset. Everything else follows from there. Your 30-day action plan. This is how you get there. Week 1, Foundation. Get your OpenAI API key. Make your first raw API call today. Build a CLI chatbot with conversation history. Read the function calling docs end to end. Week 2, Tools. Add at least 2 tools to your agent. Web search and file saving are a good start. Week 3, Real project. Pick one repetitive task in your actual work and automate it completely. Week 4, Scale. Connect your agent to a real data source, add memory. Ship something, 30 days, real projects. That is how you actually learn this.